Happy Easter from the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And welcome to our April edition already of Coffee and Kolache, or Kava and Kolache. And we are so pleased today to have as our guest our first Vice President of our International Board of Trustees, Virginia Wiltz. Welcome, Virginia.
Thank you, Cecilia.
We're so glad. Virginia and I are going to talk with our audience today. Remember, if you have any questions, we're live to just type them in. We're going to talk about our big weekend coming up April 30th through May 2nd. And in addition to that, we're going to talk about something coming up in just 2 weeks, April 14th and 15th. But before we get started, I've already introduced you, but I want you to talk a little bit, Virginia, about your role in our big weekend, which is going to start April 30th through May 3rd. It'll be through May 3rd. So tell us about that.
Well, Cecilia, I will be happy to tell you about that. It's going to happen, and we're having our 6th annual gala, which will happen on May the 2nd. But prior to that, we're having the 4 tenors will be here on May the 1st. And so tickets are going fast, so we'd love to have you join us for that. And they'll be performing on Friday night, and then again for our gala on Saturday night. And this is our 6th annual, and we're going to be recognizing our past presidents of our board. So it'll be a fun weekend to do that, and our gala will be extremely exciting, and we have all kinds of fun things happening that weekend. And then we also have a band that will be playing, which will get us all in the spirit of doing polkas and all kinds of fun dances.
Great, and that band is called the Big Band Band. So it's
yes.
a big band sound, and that'll be great. Local band, but they're big band. And, so that'll be super. And Virginia, you and John and Joe Salega, another one of our board members, and his wife Vanessa, are the co-chairs of the gala.
Correct. We are the co-chairs, and we've done this now for the 3rd year of being co-chairs. So we're looking forward to doing it again. Joe and Vanessa have come from Chicago, and we have a grand time with them, and we have some other fun things that are going to be happening. We're going to be greeting our customers, or our guests, excuse me.
You're a banker, that's okay.
That's right, banker.
We'll forgive you.
Anyway, we're going to be greeting all of our guests as they come in the door, so with something surprising. So it'll be fun to gather with everybody and have some great conversations going on in the Grand Hall.
Well, that's really super. And Virginia is so important in this, and she also is a native of Cedar Rapids. So you understand the community, you're here for the community, and you can go online and hear all about this more in detail online. But I just want to highlight something you said on Friday, May 1st. We're going to start the day with an economic summit.
Yes, we are.
Which is really a big deal, because this is our 3rd annual as opposed to our 6th annual gala. And this summit's going to bring people from all over the country, as well as Cedar Rapids, and from our homelands, the Czech Republic and Slovakia. And both ambassadors will be here, Ambassador Miloslav Stashek and Ambassador Andrej Droba from the Slovak, and the first Stashek from the Czech Republic. And they're all coming, and we'll have a full day of presentations. And you know, we're very proud of some of the recent investments by people from our homelands, from Slovakia. There's a big investor now in Cedar Rapids. So we really want to encourage that trade and that business, because of the fact that they were the ones really that started that community. We're all children of immigrants, and these early Czech immigrants came to Cedar Rapids in 1914. The population was 44% in Czech. So we really want to stimulate that kind of interaction. So on May 1st, it's starting at 9 o'clock in the morning, we're going to have our economic summit, and I'm really excited about that, because Tiffany O'Donnell, our mayor, is going to open it. And then we have presentations by such people as Vladimir Lakovic, who is the special representative to the United States for trade and investment in Slovakia. And then we have Monika Ventrilikova, who is also on our board. Yes. And she's going to talk about her company that they started very successfully in Atlanta, Georgia. And then, of course, our Consul General, Jakub Buteshny from Chicago, will also be in hand with the 2 ambassadors. So it's going to be a full day of interactions. The Economic Alliance is going to be there from the city, as well as business partners throughout the state, and we're very excited about that, and then to really get us going for this big event, which is super. We're going to have at night starting at 7:30. Our doors open at 7, and you can get your tickets online for the 4 tenors.
Yes.
I know you just bought yours.
I did. And my second group.
It is a once-in-a-lifetime experience to see these guys. They're 4 tenors from Prague. The last audience they played for in the United States was at Carnegie Hall. And now they're coming here. And they also played recently in Prague to a crowd of 15,000 people. So we want to pack up our ballroom as much as we can. And we're very pleased that they're going to be coming. So that's on Friday night, open to the public. Get your tickets online for the Four Tenors. These guys are amazing. And they'll probably come back someday.
And the good thing is, for people that think, oh, it's going to be all something I will not understand, they're going to be singing in English for us. So that's another highlight. So don't be afraid to come. It'll be awesome to listen to them.
I'm so glad you said that, Virginia, because you know what they're going to do? Broadway productions. They're going to do the Beatles.
Yes.
And so they're really going to tailor the program to an American. They're also going to do a couple of Dvorak, but everything will be in English.
Yes.
And so at the gala, I know they're going to do Dvorak. So,
Yes.
But that's okay because we want to really mix that music up. But they are great. Their English is fantastic. And so you don't have to worry that it's going to be in our native tongues.
Yes.
So that's on Friday night. May 1st at 7:30, doors open at 7, and please, please, please get your tickets online as soon as possible. But you know what we're going to do? We're actually starting a day early on April 30th, which is a Thursday. We're going to have a lecture at 4 o'clock entitled Freedom, Democracy, and Human Rights, Bringing Václav Havel's Wisdom to Today's World. And we all know that Václav Havel was really an iconic figure in Czechoslovakia when they overthrew communism and they became two separate democracies, Czechia and Slovak Republic. And this lecture will be presented by former Ambassador Martin Pauloš and Anne Marie Kenny, who was very much involved in the Czech Republic. She actually lived there. She went there kind of on a visit as a tourist and then became so enchanted with it she actually lived there for several years. So they're going to talk about Havel's influence on a democratic society, and that's going to be really, I think, a powerful, and that's going to be Thursday at 4 o'clock, so to kind of kick off this big weekend that we have coming up. So on, again, April 30th, we're going to kick it off with the Freedom, Democracy, and Human Rights lecture, and then starting at 4 o'clock, and then we're going to go into the first May Day, which is a big day.
Yes.
May Day. We used to give May baskets. That was a big tradition. Everybody, we're going to start that out with that wonderful economic summit, and then at night we're going to have the Four Tenors. Please share the word with the Four Tenors, because this is for us and for Cedar Rapids. We want to bring to the community the best we can, so we're doing it.
One of the other things that I think we should also mention is, even though we are Czech and Slovak, all of our lecturers and those people that come will be able to speak in English to us. So, and most of those people always have really good English, so it's very nice to be able to come and enjoy what they have to say, and we can all understand it.
Yeah, I think that's so true. And you know, nowadays, travel, we go any place we want, but it's so special when they actually want to come to our Cedar Rapids and that. So that's on Thursday. The lecture on Thursday at 4 o'clock. The Economic Summit, you can still register for that. There'll be lots of contacts to make. If you're in business and you hear this lecture or our little interview today, be sure you tell people about this chance, because there'll be a chance to meet people from across the ocean. And then, of course, at night, we have our wonderful Four Tenors. So then Saturday, that's the day for
Saturday,
you.
the gala will happen.
And
we're working, that again will happen in the evening. We start at
5:30.
5:30 the door opens. You can get tickets online. And so go online, get your tickets, and join us for a wonderful evening of dancing and merriment and recognition and wonderful things happening, and a great meal. Peppercorn will be doing our meal for that night, so it'll be very good.
It is. It's a special. And you know what the special treat is? Our desserts are being made here in Cedar Rapids by the chef from Austin, Texas, Lenka Pavlova. She's going to make a tower of desserts, and they're going to be all Czech and Slovak. So I spoke with her on the phone, and I was just getting hungry talking with her. So that's going to be a real treat. So we're excited about that. And we're going to be opening that night the NCSML Hall of Fame. Something that we've never had, and we're establishing a Hall of Fame, and we'll announce that night. We've got some very exciting people and family members that are coming. So we'll have more to come on that. But you're going to be in charge of the gala, I know, but before the gala on Saturday, we have a lot going on. Let me just share with you for our community. Maybe you can't go to the gala because we do have a limited number of seats, but there's still some available. But if you want to bring your family and want to come to the museum on that weekend, come on Saturday, May 2nd, because we're going to start the day at 10:30 in the morning. 10:30 in the morning with a wonderful dance presentation. This will be free to the public by Veselica. And Veselica is a powerful, dynamic, energetic group of dancers from Chicago, and they're from the Slovak area, Mission Church, Slovak Mission, and they are amazing. We both saw them
in Chicago.
And they're going to come here. So on Saturday at 10:30 in the morning, please mark your calendars. It'll be the Veselica Dance Group and Cymbal Band, so that'll be fantastic. And then at 11 o'clock, we have another major thing happening. So from the Veselica in the Rosette Grand Hall, we'll move then to the library where we're going to dedicate the Congressman John Micah Library collection of books. And the Congressman Micah collection is something unbelievable. He donated it to the museum. It's probably one of the largest collection of rare old books dating to the 1500s, the 1600s, and 1700s. It's amazing. And you really can't even touch one of these books without gloves. And so we're going to dedicate it. He and his wife Pat will be here from Florida. So to come and meet Congressman Micah. Again, open to the public. We'll have a reception to follow. And at 11 o'clock, we'll be dedicating this really rare book collection that will become, it's ours now. And he was very kind to donate it to the museum and library. Then at noon, you're going to need a walk after being here. So we've asked our good friend Mark Sofer Hunter to give us a tour of New Bohemia, and he'll be giving a walking tour, especially because we have so many guests coming from out of town. And that'll be, and then at noon, we also have a ribbon cutting for those that have already taken that trip. We have a ribbon cutting ceremony for a new exhibit from it's called Count Moritz Benowski, our first European Globetrotter. And so this is an interesting exhibit that's coming here. So that'll be again at noon. And then, of course, our 5:30 our Preciosa. And it's Preciosa Gala. And you might say, Preciosa Presidential Gala, what does that mean? Preciosa is the company that made our chandelier. Oh, and so and then you'll be able to buy some Preciosa jewelry in the store. And what we were talking about, what else are we going to buy?
We always have done a wonderful pin in honor, basically, of Mrs. Albright, or Mandolin Albright. And primarily, she had her pin collection was here one time for an exhibit. And so we've tailgated onto that and is doing a new pin every year for our gala. And this year, our shop owner, or our shop person here at the museum, Andrea, has created one for us, which is just phenomenal. And everybody should buy one of those. They're great. They're going to be looking like the torch of and the torch with red, white, and blue. So we're also going to take remembering 250 years for the United States, and that is one of our memory for it.
Yeah, it's a powerful. It's
wonderful.
It's a red, white, and blue, powerful. And you know this. I'm glad you mentioned Madeleine Albright, because when we had our first gala in 2019, I called her and I said, "Would you come and be our guest?" And she said, "You know, Cecilia, I would love to," but she was writing her last book, and she said, "I'm working with the printers and I can't do that." But she said, why don't you get a pin every year and I'll buy one always. So she gave me the idea to start this pin. So it really is an honor of her that we have this pin collection. And they do sell out every year. We have, this will be our 6th edition. So please get your pin.
Yes, get your pin.
They're gorgeous. They really are gorgeous.
They're pretty.
So then we're going to round out the weekend. And at the gala, we're going to dance too. We're going to have a big dance.
Yes, we are.
And then on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, we're having our legacy brunch. And our legacy brunch honors all of our people who are part of our legacy our legacy group, which are those people that, upon their passing, will give a portion of their wealth to the museum and library. So every year we have this. We'll be inducting some new people. And if you're interested, please give us a call, and I'd be happy to walk you through. It's a great way to leave a legacy for your family, and I know you're part of it. And really, I think that's so important. That's very important. So that's our big weekend. And I think that what it tells us that we're going to start on Thursday, we're going to go all the way to Sunday, come from wherever you are, and I guarantee you. And we have some really great exhibits going on. The one we've got a woodcutters exhibit, but the one that's going to be Stephanie's working on now is from Serbia. And you might say, from Serbia? There is a large Slovak population in this area of Serbia, and they have a exhibition of their artwork, and it's proclaimed by UNESCO as a UNESCO treasure, and it's coming here.
Nice.
And so you'll be able to see that wonderful exhibit from the UNESCO. It's a UNESCO Heritage Award winner, and I think it's someplace on the ocean now. Let's hope it gets here. But it's beautiful pieces of work done by the Slovaks living in Serbia. If you go there, it's like being in Slovakia, but they live in Serbia. They've kept up all the traditions, and it's really amazing. But before we do all this, on April 14th and 15th, we've got a surprise. So we are working with our Consul General in Chicago, Jakub Uceshin, and his staff, and Mr. Dvořáček, and they informed us that 15 university presidents, vice presidents, and deans from the Czech Republic are coming to visit Chicago and here. So what we've organized for the 14th and 15th is an amazing, and I mean really amazing, schedule for them to meet with people at the University of Iowa, delegations from Iowa State, as well as from surrounding universities, Paco, Mount Mercy, Kirkwood, and then we've invited South Dakota universities, Nebraska universities, and we're going to look at how we can work together and how the museum and library can be a sort of, I call them a epicenter for that, and where people can look at partnerships, they can look at student exchanges, they can look at trainees or interns to have, and what are the challenges, and how can we overcome some of these and really have affiliations and partnerships. So this is really exciting.
It is exciting. And with that, Cecilia, you need to mention that we have had 2 or 3 students from Olomouc come in the summertime and be our student from there, from the Czech. So that we have had. So this will just be a nice combination of getting to know a lot more presidents, being able to extend it to our universities, and hopefully having some exchange students from ours going there.
That's such an important point that, museums and libraries started, if you look at museums, in the Middle Ages, they were really just for the very wealthy and very elite. And now museums are for everyone, and they're open to everyone, and they've really become educational centers or educational links to universities because, like you said, students can come here and learn. I mean, our library is an absolute treasure for research. If I were a young student now and studying Czech or Slovak history, I'd want to come here because we have so many rare things like the Jan Kola collection, the large Slovak collection. And then we have so many rare books here that it would be a wonderful experience. And when I was in the academic world, I would educate medical students, and when they would come, and a period of about 12 years, I had 134 students that came through for 1 month. And many of them said it was life-changing. And I always said, you can't come back to practice here, you need to go back, and they did. Only I think 2 might have come to practice here. But that's okay. The point is that it really allows people to understand other cultures, and as my father used to say, if we understood and knew each other, we'd have no wars. And I think that's probably true.
So correct.
So there is so much going on here. So I'm going to recommend that we do 3 things. Check our website. Give us a call if you need to ask any questions, how do you register, and be sure, again, check your website and register. And then come here. If you live in Cedar Rapids, come for one of the events or 2 of the events. If you're from out of town, what a great way to spend a weekend. Come on a Thursday night for a lecture, Friday night a concert, economic summit during the day, and then on Sunday morning it's full of lectures and book dedications and exhibit openings, tours. And if you can go to the gala, great. If you can't, that's okay. But we want you to come and enjoy this big, big, big weekend, and then to also what I would call enjoy this economic, or this, what I'm calling the mission, the academic mission. And if you're an academic and you're listening, please consider giving us a call and coming. And I want to end with one thing. We're on the Easter season. And for those of you that live near here, never forget that Easter is a very special time in the Czech and Slovak culture. It's special really in the world, but it's a very special time, and we have a lot of traditions, coloring eggs, making the fancy egg decorations, having the Easter cake lamb cake, having the mezanek, or the bread kind of called it with raisins. There's so many traditions, and Easter Monday is one. Did you ever do this? We used to do and they do it more probably in Slovakia and in the rural areas. Prague doesn't do it very much, but the boys would have a stick made out of a tree, or linden tree, or it would be a weave stick, and then ribbons on the top that girls had put on there. So on Easter Monday, and this happened to me twice while I've been there, they will come, the boys, and pour water on you. And they kind of tap you. They just tap you, and then they pour water on you. And you have to give them something to drink, or some money, or an egg. And so that's a really big, and then Tuesday now, the girls can go back on the boys.
Oh.
And then every time, say that, he came and he tapped you, you would tie a ribbon. So the more ribbons you had, the more you kind of got the girls. And so that's a tradition that isn't very popular here in the United States, but it's something that you treasure because it's a memory. And although, like I said, the cities don't do it as much, the smaller towns do. And that's a memory. I'm sure all of you have memories of coloring Easter. What was your favorite Easter?
We did eggs. However, our lamb cakes did not always change to be lamb cakes. We used Rice Krispies. And we did Rice Krispies in our lamb cakes. And so ours came out to be like Rice Krispie squares or Rice Krispie, but it was in the shape of a lamb. Worked out really well. So we did the Rice Krispies in our lambs.
Well, that's a new one because one of the radio stations called and asked about the history of the lamb cake. And it goes back to the 12th century.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And but you know what we Americans did to it is we over-decorated it. When you looked at it, it should just be a lamb cake with some powdered sugar on it. And we have these wonderful molds in our store. If you don't have a lamb cake mold, come to our store.
Yes.
They have big ones, small ones, and all sorts. But we put coconut and frosting. That would have been, for in the 12th, 13th century, that would have been a no-no. But you're just supposed to put powdered sugar
Right.
on it. But
that's what we did. But we changed because lamb cakes were, it was much easier to do have young kids or young children be able to take and push in the Rice Krispies to make it Rice Krispie
What
squares
a
into that
neat-
instead of making it a lamb cake. And then they could decorate the Rice Krispies. So they put on the eyes and did things with that. But it was a lamb cake
So
instead.
what did you do with the pan? Did you put a little bit of butter in the pan? Okay.
We just put butter in it and made it like Pam.
Yeah.
And then we just pushed all of our Rice Krispies
What-
in, and that was it.
What a neat new idea. I'm so glad.
So you can do that with kids. It works out really well.
And did you colored eggs? We did too. And did you have a Easter ham always?
Oh, yes.
That was
Yeah.
the tradition.
Ham was the- yeah.
Makes no sense, but we had Easter ham and potato dumplings and sauerkraut.
Yes, yes.
You always have to have the potato dumplings and sauerkraut. That's sort of the traditional. So, yeah. Well, that's really. So, our listening audience, you found out a new Virginia Welch recipe, which I even didn't learn about. That is really great. So, with the Easter season upon us, may we wish you a very happy and blessed Easter from the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library. And remember, April 14th and 15th, and remember April 30th, May 1st, May 2nd, and May 3rd if you're a Legacy member. We look forward to seeing you in May on, actually it'll be on May Day when we're here. So maybe we'll grab some of the speakers that are here for the Economic Summit. So until then, have a happy, happy, happy Easter, and may your season be bright as we enjoy the true beauty of the springtime season. See you next month.